Interview, take 4. And so, my fellow Americans. Hola, mi amigos. Bonjour. Como se va? All right, we got to go back to the beginning. I went out and got a haircut just for this. As long as I'm confident that you're really actually going to edit this, I'll say f***. I feel like this book has been in me for a long time. Where it came from is really out of a frustration I had, and have had for a long time, because for all my years as an estate planner, clients come in and you sit down across the table, we close the door, the conversation very often gets really intimate, and people start opening up and sharing things with you. And it's not just about legal solutions, or financial solutions. They start unzipping their souls and they put it on the table, and sometimes we have to get out the Kleenex. I mean, it really does get emotional. But the frustration that I had is that I felt like people were asking me for solutions I didn't have. And I was really frustrated by that. And so about 3 years ago, I decided it was really time to put my own mind around what those solutions would look like. And so that's really where the book came from. The book came really as a response to my own frustration about not being able to meet the needs of clients sitting across the table from me. In the book, we've really now created a thoughtful framework that creates a way that professional estate planners, financial planners can really sit down with clients and get clients to open up to them, talk about all the things that are really important, family, what matters about family, and what kind of wisdom they want to share, and what they want to see their grandchildren be like, all of those things. And not feel empty, not feel like I'm just listening to this, I'm just getting out the Kleenex while people cry. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to have a solution I can offer. And I think that what we've done here is create a whole array of solutions so that we can find something that will resonate with everybody. What's my favorite chapter in the book? I've been asked that a lot. I would have to tell you, there are 2 chapters in the book about generosity. It's the first generosity chapter. I would say I get a little mystical there, because I really believe that of all the tools that are available that can make a transformational difference in the lives of people, it is the thing that's the most powerful, the thing that's the most impactful, is developing proactively an attitude of generosity. What is legacy? Legacy is a big word, and it doesn't always mean the same thing to everybody, but I will tell you, in my case, it is the sum and substance of my life experience, the mistakes I've made, the things I've learned, a few successes in there too. And I just feel like, I feel like it shouldn't be wasted. I feel like if we're going to go through this life and have these experiences, we need to squeeze all the juice out of the lemon we can and capture as much of that as we can, so that my son can benefit from that, and generations to come in my family can benefit from that. Friends that I have and their kids can benefit from that. There's no reason we all have to keep making the same mistakes over again. We can learn from each other. And what I didn't want to have happen is, for me, is to have all that life experience lost the day I die. We don't live close to each other. There was a time, even whenever I was a little boy, my grandparents lived about a mile away. We had Sunday dinner after church. I was at their house 4 times a week during the summer. All the aunts and uncles came by. I knew all these people. We knew their stories. We heard everything, and there was no big rush about it. We were able to sit around very unhurried on the front porch, and swap stories and hear the neighbors come by. But then what happened is people started getting educated. They went to college, they got good jobs, they moved to Dallas, they moved to Los Angeles, and now there's 1,000 or 2,000 miles separating families. And even when they see each other, even when they're able to get together, it's like flying in for a quick weekend. It's like getting boarding passes printed, all that. And so there isn't that quality time to sit around in an unhurried way and share wisdom, insights, stories, even funny things. None of that gets shared. Everything is time compressed. It's a big deal. It's logistics. So we've really lost we've really lost that unhurried connection between generations. And I think that loss has consequences. And I think the consequences are that the values that work for senior generations, all that learning and wisdom, life lessons, doesn't really get transmitted. And that's reflected, I believe, in a sense that Americans have, that in some sense, it's kind of like the wheels are coming off. There's data, I talk about this in the book, there's data from a Gallup survey a couple years ago that says that most Americans, about 80% of Americans, believe that the state of morality in America is declining at an accelerating rate. And I make the connection between this loss of intergenerational connection and this perception of moral decline. I think those two things are related. I think that there's also a desire for generational reconnection. I don't think Ancestry.com would be as successful, would have been as successful 50 or 75 years ago as it is today, because I think there's a craving, this desire to reach out and reconnect with what's lost. There's something about to happen over the next 25 years in the United States that is absolutely unprecedented. There's no record in history of anything like this ever having happened. There is going to be an incredible, massive transfer of wealth. The data says in the next 25 years, something like 60 or $65 trillion is going to pass hands intergenerationally. 60 or $65 trillion is going to pass from the hands of people that earned it into the hands of people who did not earn it. There is no data that is able to predict what the consequences of that will be. And I've thought a lot about that. The fear I have is that when that much wealth passes into hands of people that didn't earn it, that the potential for destruction is incredible. Also, if it's done right, if it's thoughtfully managed, thoughtfully protected, if wealth passes into the hands of people that are ready to receive it, then I think about what incredible good could come from that. And so what I believe is that estate planning attorneys, financial professionals, insurance professionals, when we sit down with clients at our table, there is that moment in time when these people are really thinking about their legacy, what their life means, who they're going to leave their wealth to, what the consequences of that will be. I've described it as, in a sense, a kind of a crack in the universe. You know, people aren't always thinking about this, but when we sit down with them, they are thinking about it. And I believe that this makes us, in a sense, really the most powerful people in the world, because while I'm not a billionaire, and most financial planners aren't billionaires either, our opportunity to influence billions and billions of dollars in terms of how that wealth is transmitted whenever the people that own that wealth pass on is really in our hands. And when we come prepared to have that conversation, when we can confidently articulate ideas, tools, and strategies, we can inspire people. People will follow our lead on that. They want to. They just don't know what to do. Our job is to show up prepared to make a difference in their lives, and clients want that. The real reason I wrote this book was to create that roadmap, to be the door opener to that conversation.